Here on Cricbuzz Comm Box, looking back at what's been a topsy-turvy game, this wonderful game of cricket showing us once again that we can take nothing for granted. Chennai were basically out. They were done and dusted as far as this match was concerned, and look how things have changed. A solo effort from Ruturaj Gaikwad with a little help from DJ Bravo towards the end, 156 for 6 in isolation. Looked a very decent total, and then their bowlers, buoyed by that revival, have come to the party. Deepak Chahar picking up his wickets in the power play as he tends to do. Shardul Thakur contributing one. And surprise, surprise, DJ Bravo is not playing purely as a batsman, but his groin is improved enough to bowl and pick up a wicket second ball. Joined by Joy Bhattacharjya. I was just asking you off air, Joy, which camp would you rather be in? After that, another wicket fell. I don't think you're changing your mind, are you?
Was something
Joy,
up.
yeah, there you go. You're back now.
I'm back now. I'm so sorry. I was stunned by what Chennai has done today, so maybe that's the reason. But the honest fact of the matter is that every time Mumbai looked as if they were landing a few punches, Chennai comes back and does something. So if you notice, Anmolpreet Singh just got going. He suddenly looked very good. He hit a couple of fours. He hit a terrific six. He's suddenly looking as if he's going to take the game away. Immediately, Deepak Chahar gets him with a slower one. Before that, Quinton de Kock, exactly the same situation. De Kock looks as if he's going to take away the game. He's batting well. They get him. So every time a batsman looks settled, Chennai finds something within themselves to come back and take a wicket. And I think that's the great thing about it. If you look at that, the fall of wickets, I mean, they've just consistently taken wickets across the board. They've just not allowed these guys to settle.
Yes, and the power play once again made to count, not as dramatic as Chennai's power play, but if you look at this innings in isolation, certainly the bowling side will feel they bossed the power play, and Deepak Chahar, the master of those first 6 overs.
Yeah, and they do it so well. So now I rarely see Deepak Chahar bowling anything less than the 3 in the first 6. And he knows, the captain knows that his job, he's going to get some swing out there. But this slower ball, Deepak Chahar, outstanding analysis there. 2 for 9 in 3 overs. Fantastic. Hazelwood went for a few runs and he was definitely targeted. Batsmen looked as if they were more comfortable with him. Normally he bowls those very restrictive lengths outside off stump, but they just sort of moved across and hit him over leg. And I think he's a better bowler than that kind of analysis suggests. Shardul came back and did very well. And look what happens out here. Moeen Ali, there are 2 left-handers in. Moeen Ali will keep bowling. And this is the genius of Dhoni. He will not bring in Jadeja with these 2 left-handers there. And if the situation persists, he may not even bring in Jadeja because Bravo is bowling well. They could complete it with these 5 bowlers as well.
Well, I have news for you. He has finally brought in Ravindra Jadeja in the 11th over. And on cue, halfway through your sentence, he's been hit for a huge 6 by Kieron Pollard, who's obviously trying to now assert himself as he tends to do on an innings. So that'll be a bit of cat and mouse now between Pollard, who's the captain for the day, and Dhoni as to how long he keeps on Jadeja. And does he maybe bring back a Hazelwood? Does he finish off Deepak Chahar? That's going to be the interesting part.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many little individual battles out there. You know, what you were talking about yourself. It's been a battle for 8 to 10 years, which is the Pollard versus Bravo battle. So that's going to happen in the field. Jadeja will come back. Pollard will also try and hit Jadeja off his length, and then do they go to pace? Pollard at this stage of his life does not like the ball coming on and little high. So, do they go back to pace for a few overs and do not give Pollard any spin to play with? So all these are fascinating, little sidelines. And I think Pollard also has a point to prove. He would have looked at his captaincy and said, perhaps I missed a trick in those 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th overs. But you know what? If I score 40 runs in the next 4 overs, I can make it back for my team. So lots to play for.
2 questions to wrap up this Cricbuzz Comm Box. One is the difference between the batting depth of Chennai versus the batting depth of Mumbai. Will that be a factor when it comes to assessing this run chase?
I think it definitely will. Because, Adam Milne, I was looking at his batting analysis because we all know that Bumrah, Bolt and Chahar are not the greatest of batsmen. And Milne is also a very, very average batsman. Their tail is starting. 8, 9, 10, 11 are all genuine tail enders. So, yes, there's one Kunal Pandya left in the hutch. And that will definitely influence the way Pollard and they play right now. Because it's important for them not to lose any more wickets.
Final question. role for Saurabh Tiwari, who started out aggressively, just hit a lovely cover drive of Bravo for four. What would Pollard have said to him as he walked out? Because Ishan Kishan could have been the one who was the aggressor. Now, does Saurabh Tiwari play till the end? Because Pollard pretty much has one big way to assert himself.
I think he'll have to play to the end because you're right. Pollard is not going to play a waiting game. Pollard is going to go for it at some point in time. He's going to go for a flurry of hits. But also, what they might do is they might divide bowlers to target. And they might turn around and say that actually, Jadeja, sorry, you should target Jadeja considering that he's a left hand bowler. Why don't you go after him? I'll take on. If Moeen Ali comes back, and I don't think Moeen Ali will come back, he'll probably say, I know Bravo better than you. I'll take on Bravo and the other guys. So, yeah, they could divide up bowlers between them.
77 of 51 as we wrap up Cricbuzz Comm Box. Joy at the start said he was in the yellow camp. I think nothing will have changed. I too tend to agree with him. But let's just remind all of you that Karan Pollard, who's been in good form in the CPL, and the last time around when they played at the start, the first half of this tournament, he bossed it with an innings to remember. They'll need another one from him. Where will it go? We'll wrap it up at the end. This is Cricbuzz Comm Box.